Let's create some well-developed three-dimensional characters. Hi guys, I'm Marlene and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about creating well-developed characters. Before I dive into my 5 tips for doing just that, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell if you want writing advice videos every single Friday and occasionally some great bonus content. So let's dive in. So my first tip is to plan your characters. Now, this may seem like the most obvious tip. You've heard so many writers tell you that you have to have character profiles. You need to know what your character likes to eat, what their hobbies are, how they would react in certain situations, all of that jazz. Well, that's not exactly how I plan my characters. I have a very unique way of planning characters because I feel like it's more important for me to know the vibe of the character than it is to know whether they like spicy food or not. That I can develop or put in as it becomes relevant in the story. I don't have to know that beforehand. That's just me personally, each unto their own. So what I do to plan characters is I need an aesthetic of the character. I need to know what the character looks like. Well, I already have an idea of what the character looks like in my head, but I need a face claim for that character. I need someone whose nose shape and mouth shape and face shape and eye color and things like that I can describe perfectly. So I usually go out and I look for a model, a celebrity, someone. It may be an obscure person that no one knows, but their pictures for some reason on the internet, someone that fits that character in my mind, and I will save that picture and that will be my reference picture throughout. Now, this isn't really about well-developed characters, but I'm just going into exactly how I plan my characters. And then as characters come into my mind, they are kind of fully formed persons, and it's more me just having to get to know the character. And like I said, for me it's more about vibes than it is about specific things. So I will also have character profiles that look a little different to other people's character profiles. So I will have things, the normal things like their age and who are their family members, who are their friends, and then I will also have what role are they playing in this story, what is their character arc, their purpose in that specific story. And then one of the big tools I use is the MBTI, or the Myers-Briggs type indicator, also known as 16 personalities. So yes, I literally go onto 16personalities.com. I'll leave the link in the description box below, and I do the 100-question personality test for each of my big characters. And then I have the personality at the end. And what's great about Myers-Briggs is that it gives so many different aspects of a person's personality, because it will tell you how you're in romantic relationships, in friendships, in workplaces, which jobs, things like that. Now obviously you don't have to follow this to a T, it's still your character, and real people who do the personality tests, not everything that is in the results is true for them, but most of it will be. So I then put what is the character's Myers-Briggs type in my character profile, and I'll also go through the results and copy and paste things that are important into that character profile. And then what also helps is doing the Enneagram personality test. Now I will also link down below to kind of an explanation of what Enneagram is, but there are 9 types. And what Enneagram does really well is it doesn't focus on behavior, it focuses on inner desires and fears. So it will tell you what is the character's deepest inner desire and what is their deepest fear, and you can then work from that to know the vibe of the character. I will also put together aesthetics for the character, Pinterest boards, just collages that I make on my phone of images that reflect that character, that make me feel the mood of that character. So yeah, that's my first tip, is to plan the character in the way that you understand the mood, the vibe, the general feeling of the character, so that when you write them, you can be in that perspective. And I feel like once you're in that perspective, all the other things about their hobbies and their favorite food and what they don't like and what they do like will come to you as it is necessary for the story. Then tip number 2 is to incorporate the characters' hobbies, their passions, and their occupation into their perspective or their reaction. Now this is especially for point of view characters. So is your character a writer or an artist? Are they a mathematician? Are they a doctor? And this will influence the way they see the world, the way they react to things, how they describe things. So they might focus on the colors around them, or on the literary nature of certain things that are happening to them. They might focus on calculating the probability of a plan working out or not. They might be focusing on the human anatomy and on things that normal lay people would not necessarily consider when they are describing someone or going through an experience. So make sure that you incorporate these things every now and again. So you don't have to remind the reader in every paragraph that your character is a doctor or an artist, but putting them in every now and again where the character is describing something can really give depth to your characters and make each character super individual. Now a really good example of this for me is Feyre from Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses series. She's an artist and she sees things the way an artist would. And then next up is incorporating who the character is into their dialogue. So each character should have a somewhat unique voice. Now I'm not in the group of writers who believe that your characters should each sound completely distinct from each other. I think that your writing style will influence your dialogue a lot, so there will be overlap, but you can write dialogue in a way that it is never out of character for that specific character. And my tip for this would actually be to read it out loud, and not just that, but to read it in different voices or accents for different characters. So you pick a voice for a character and you read that dialogue in that voice, and it will kind of train your brain to hear that voice and that accent whenever you are writing for that character, and you'll realize when something they say doesn't sound like something that would fit with that voice. So it's also kind of then easy to know when two characters have no distinction between them in their dialogue, because the voices and the accents, although different, the things they say will sound exactly the same. So yeah, I hope that makes some sense. Then number 4 is giving your primary characters meaningful character arcs. Now your character can be a great character and very fleshed out, they have a great backstory, but if they don't develop somewhat throughout the book, then they're gonna feel very flat. So ensure that your important characters go through some sort of journey, that they learn something along the way, that they go through struggles, that they become better versions of themselves as the story goes along. So your character should not be born perfect and then stay stagnant throughout the whole book. So a good way to do this is to give your character a breaking point and then show them overcoming it. Now I have a video all about writing a character arc, so I'll leave that in the cards for you guys. And then my final tip is to incorporate parts of yourself into your characters. Now a lot of people have big issues with self-inserts, or what they call self-indulgent self-inserts, and yes, I think that if you write a character who is supposed to be you, then you're not going to necessarily adhere to the structure of story and conflicts and flaws that a character needs. But including elements of yourself, tiny little things in each character, is a great way to make them feel believable. So I'm not one of those people who base characters on other people I know, but I will base them on little things about myself. So do you lock all your closet doors before you go to sleep? Do you only eat fries if they've dipped in milkshake? Do you like to read up on North African mythology in your free time? Do you always tuck your hair behind your left ear when you're feeling uncomfortable? Things like that are great quirks to insert into different characters to just make them feel more believable, because it's the small little things that add up to a well-developed three-dimensional character. So yeah, those are all the tips I have for you guys today. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Remember to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell if you want writing advice videos every single Friday, and occasionally some great bonus content. As always, you can find me on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. All the links are listed below, and then I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye!